I definitely just want to talk about this book because I loved this book so much and it snatched my ass right up out of that reading slump real quick, okay? So hello beautiful people. I'm here again today in my lovely abode to talk about one of my favorite books of the year. So if you don't follow your girl on Twitter, if you don't follow your girl on Instagram, what are you doing? You need to follow me. Like, what are you waiting for? Make sure if you're watching this video, you hit that subscribe button because I promise you I'll give you quality content. So no problem there. All of my Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, all of that other junk is in the description box below. So make sure you click it and give your girl a follow. Also give your girl a thumbs up because I put a lot of time and effort into my videos. Without any further ado, let's talk about this book at hand. So here I was in April, slowly getting ready to fall into a reading slump because I think I overpushed myself for Black History Month with all the books that I read. And I was just looking for a book that had that was like gruesome but had like romance and was like really different from what I was used to. And then I found this bad boy. When I went to Books A Million, I found this lovely book that was talked about a lot. I can't remember when, probably like the end of last year. I saw it on like Bookstagram and Book Twitter and all over the place. And so I scooped this one up because the premise sounds really interesting. So this book follows our MC, Princess Lyra, who was taught at a very young age to be vicious and hateful and spiteful and just dislike all of mankind from her mother, who was the Sea Queen. So Princess Lyra is actually a siren, and what she does is sing songs to people and to men and to women, and they just hear this beautiful song and they just like fall in love with her, and as soon as they fall in love, she just kills them. Bam! Right there. So this pretty much follows the sirens, who every year it is tradition for them on their birthday to find someone and rip their damn heart out while they're still alive. Well, Princess Lyra has made up her own little tradition where the hearts that she gets are always princes. That's specifically her thing. She always goes after the princes. But during one of these adventures on the hunt to find a prince's heart that she will rip out next, she breaks tradition, and her mother is a very spiteful, angry woman who is very unforgiving, and she does not take breaking tradition very lightly. So she ends up getting punished by her mother on multiple occasions because of this, and her mother turns her into a human, takes away her song, and demands that she still gets a prince's heart without her song, without any assistance, without being a siren, just being a straight up human without any power, without any magic, without anything. Still be able to do the same thing she always does. Enter our second MC, Pirate Prince Ilian. So this prince is very different from all the other princes. He's not known to be in like a royal setting, sitting on the throne, chilling and hanging out. He likes to be on the ship with his guys, with his girls, looking specifically for sirens because they're known and they have been killing princes, they have been attacking people. So his mission 100%, and all his pirates on his ship's mission, their main idea, his whole crew, the thing they focus on is killing sirens. So of course she gets put into a situation where he is the one that she comes into contact with, and right off the bat I just shipped it. Like, I just shipped them so hard. So that is the entire premise of this book. If you haven't read this book yet, I honestly think you could stick around because I'm not going to be too spoilery. It just was so it's been a while since I had a book that I just kept flipping the pages through, and this was that book. It was so simplistic. It was so like gruesome and brutal and funny and an adventure, and like the world building was beautiful. The traveling aspect I really liked because everywhere that they went was like a different part of the world. There was different rules of magic, there was a different system, there was different rulers, and it just was like so interesting to see each place that they went to and the things that each place entitled and the things that each like realm of royalty and like their politics and stuff like that. There were so many different examples of like royalty and just like their kingdom. The crew was so much fun. Like I I connected with the main characters, I connected with the crew, and this was like such a fun adventure. And oh my god, I just love this book so much. It was so fun, the banter was hilarious. A lot of people had a problem with how simplistic the writing was or how much banter was involved, but I loved the simplicity of this book because I think I was right in the middle of reading The Priory of the Orange Tree, and that book is anything but simplistic, okay? It's very thick, it's very in-depth, it has a glossary, it has a dictionary, it's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I enjoyed it, but this book definitely helped me with giving me that little break. I loved the romance because it was a slow, very slow burn, okay? It was definitely a hate to love trope, and it's not really something I go after specifically, but I really, really enjoyed this hate to love trope. Just these two characters together, like the second that he saw her, he's just like, my monster, like you've come to find me. And I was just like, I love them, like I want them together, like can they be together now? Like the inner conflict that Lyra had with whether she was supposed to be brutal or if she really was brutal, and it really made me think about a character that's in the Throne of Glass book. Her name is Manon, who's a witch, and she constantly has this inner battle about like, am I really a monster or was I made to be a monster? And Lyra in this book, she slowly starts to realize that she was made to be like this. Like this isn't really how she feels, and there's nothing wrong with being compassionate. There's nothing wrong with being understanding. But I really enjoyed her character development because the author didn't really change who she was. Like she still was like brutal, she still was edgy, she still was like snappy, she still wasn't having anybody's shit. Even when she didn't have her power or her magic or her viciousness or her strength, she still was the same character. And even when she saw the world in a different light or whatever, she didn't turn into like this light-hearted fluffy character out of nowhere. She kept the same characteristics, but she just had a different understanding of the world. And I just love that development so much because the character still stayed true to herself, and it just was so good. It was so much fun. It was like action-packed, but even when there wasn't really anything going on, it was still funny. Like I also enjoyed the inner battle that Prince Ilian had himself, where he's just like made to be royalty, and he's made to be a king, and he's made to be someone who just like sits still and like is structured and like willing to lead people. And he is leading people, he's leading his crew, and this is where he's comfortable at. But then at the same time, he has responsibilities, he has things he has to deal with, and it's just like hard for him being pulled on both sides, because here he is on the ship, he feels free, he feels happy. I'm just gonna put this pillow here because I want to face the camera. It just was really interesting to see like his inner battles, her inner battles, and I just really enjoyed the sirens. Like I'm not someone that's really into like mermaids and stuff like that. I think they're very beautiful, but it's not something I usually go after. I don't mind it, but it's not like my thing. But I love the sirens because like they just had this beauty of them, but they also had like this brutality, and they were gruesome, and like things were like bloody, and like I just loved the whole setting because it was like dark and twisted, but it also was like fun and like an adventure, and it was like fast paced. It wasn't, the book is a little thick, like it's not, it's only about 330 pages, really not that long. Like I've definitely read bigger, but it was so much fun to go along this adventure and just see these characters develop and trust each other more, and some of them not trust Lyra at the same time. And like although this was a retelling about like The Little Mermaid, I'm pretty sure it's a retelling of The Little Mermaid, but although it was a retelling, it really focused a lot on friendships as well, and like trust and leadership, and that was so much fun to like dive into, as well as just how gentle Ilian was with Lyra, even though he was like not too gentle. But it was just so perfect. Like just their love, the love interest with them was just like so nice. It wasn't fast paced. It wasn't just like they hated each other the entire book and then it was like, oh, it's the end and we gotta hurry up and wrap it up. It was just like you felt every little tick and every little small change between the two of them, where you just like, oh, okay. The slow burn was so worth it, and you just felt every new level of feelings they had for each other. And it wasn't just like a romance thing, it also was like a friendship between Lyra and Ilian. Just all the way to the end, she still was battling with like who she was as a person and what she wanted to stand for, and if she believed in like her mother as a leader, and if she believed that her mother was worthy, and just the magic system was so much fun. and the description of the sirens was really simple, but it was like I could picture it in my head. And I also really enjoyed like the family aspect, like Ilian's family and his relationship with his parents was like funny, precious, and it just was like so sincere. There were a lot of parts within the book where Ilian interacted with his father, and it just was like so, it was so precious. Like I just loved it so much, and I just loved how gentle they were with him and how understanding they were with him, but they also were like saying, hey, like, you know, you're gonna have to take control of this eventually. The play on royalty and policies and responsibilities and everything like that. Just a good read. And I was so confused on like why this book had such low ratings, because I think it has like a 3.9 on Goodreads, which isn't bad, but I've seen books get way higher and I just didn't enjoy it as much. And I've learned as I go on with reading that I need to take with a grain of salt the Goodreads ratings. The ratings aren't like dire, they're not specifically how I'm gonna feel about a book. And I read a couple of the mixed reviews, or the reviews that were like 3 stars or whatever, because I personally gave it 5 stars because I love the pace, I love the writing style, I love the characters, I love the setting, I just love the story overall. It was really enjoyable. But I read a couple of the 3-star ratings. A lot of people were just saying they didn't like how simple, choppy the writing was. It sounded like text messages or something like that, and that there was too much banter, like it was too funny, it was, you know, whatever. But for me, I just thought it all flowed together. So, you know, when you enjoy a book, I just feel like you should just leave it at that. There's no real reason that you need to go into depths of looking for something to be wrong with the book, because like I love this book, and so there's really no reason for me to go and look for reviews that are bad about this book and end up altering my views on it or questioning how I feel about a book. Like I just remember how I feel when I read this book, and I loved every second of it, and I'm super excited that I picked this one up. I definitely want to reread it. I tabbed it a little bit, but I just really enjoyed this book, and it's definitely something that is going to be a favorite. I have it on my favorite shelf. So let me know if you guys read this book and if you enjoyed it, if you've read anything else by this author that you enjoyed, or if you have any other recommendations that are similar to this that you think I'll like. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Always remember, read a book, keep your life interesting, and I will see you next time. Bye.